many people think that the SAF is a very young one already. We do recognize that the SAF is an organization that requires people who are both mentally and physically energetic and robust. It's what is required by the job, and therefore we don't think that the SAF will be able to move as in line with, say, the national retirement ages, when the national retirement ages go up to, say, 65 or 67 or maybe one day beyond that. So the SAF will continue to be young and energetic. And I have always felt that it is possible for all officers to serve under 50 years old. Even when we introduced the Saver scheme with retirement ages in the 40s, I've always felt that it's possible for SAF servicemen to serve until they're 50, from a physical point of view, and also from the point of view of the kind of jobs that we can offer to them. At that time, we had to balance between two things. One, it is the requirements of the SAF, and also the needs of the individual serviceman if he wants to go out and start another career. So we felt that if we design a scheme in which the retirement benefits were targeted at a retirement of 50 years old, it may make it difficult for our officers to make a transition. But I think two things have happened. One is that as retirement ages have gone up even further in the general population, in general workforce, the runway that a person has after retirement has now become longer. So it is possible, with the right skills, with the right work attitude, for a person who retires a little later, at 50, to go out. But I should emphasize that what we've done by extending the retirement age to 50 is actually a one-way offer to our officers. You see, when they sign on, their retirement benefits and all that are keyed and geared to retirement in the 40s, say 42 or 43 or 45. And this still remains so. That means by the time they serve to, say, let us say 45, they would already have earned the full retirement benefits that they would have. So if they want to leave at 45, actually they would have left with all the benefits that they would already have earned as before. And basically what we're giving them is an offer to continue to work until 50. Well, if we had a very large SAF, say 5 or 10 times the size that we had, yes, I would consider that, because there will be many levels and so forth. But I don't envisage an SAF that's 5 or 10 times the size of the SAF that we have today. We have a relatively compact SAF with a fairly flat structure. And so in an armed forces which is 5 or 10 times the size, or in the armed forces the size of the US where you have 1 million men, a standing army, then you have a different set of considerations. The SAF is a standing force of 76,000. 70,000 or so, and fully mobilized with about 300,000. So it's a different set of considerations. I also prefer to see a steady turnover of young, energetic commanders who are able to successively take the SAF on to new vistas. And it's also important because our NSFs are young. Our NS men, they are in the NS force for another 10 years. They also have new aspirations, they have new capabilities. And so if you have commanders, even the most senior commanders in the SAF, who are closer in age to them, I think it helps in the understanding, in the communication, in providing the kind of SAF and environment in which they would feel the motivation and the challenge. So they go to a range of jobs. And some of them choose to go to very high energy level jobs, and they do very well. Some of them choose to go into total full retirement because actually they get their retirement benefits when they retire. Some of them go into, I would say, jobs where they're able to change gears, shift pace, and perhaps spend more time with their families, or spend more time, they will work, but they're able to pursue other things which they had always wanted to do in their lives. I think that is a decision for them to make, and that is in fact the opportunity that we give them. So in fact within the SAF we give them a compact, fast-paced career in which their earnings, their total lifetime earnings, the total earnings would exceed what would be the norm for that person if he were to pursue some other career.